Previously on Saving Through Society. We begin in the past with a young Zeb attending a New Orleans Zephyrs game alongside his uncle Zane. While everyone else watched the game itself, Zane encouraged Zeb to pay attention to the things people most usually ignore. The coaches, the dugout, the moments between plays. He taught Zeb that the most important truths are often hidden in plain sight. Years later, after a painful argument with his parents about the future they wanted for him, Zeb sat alone on his front porch, struggling with who he was supposed to be. Once again, Zane was there to offer him comfort and remind him that sometimes the hardest path is choosing your own. Back in the present day, the Fae courts gathered within the Twilight Court to mourn the loss of Thaloran. What should have been a peaceful funeral quickly became something stranger. During the ceremony, Baron Morady appeared before Della, confronting her about growing connections to spirits in the material plane. Their encounter ended with the Baron placing a piece of himself within her body. The Baron's visit did not end there. He gifted Onyx with a whip tied to his own power before approaching Zeb with an offer to leave everything behind and uncover the truth about the shadow that connected to him being severed. Despite the temptation, Zeb refused. As daybreak guided Thaloran's body into the light, the funeral was interrupted when Al noticed the severed moving among the mourners. Chaos erupted as the party fought to protect the gathered courts and eventually forcing the severed back into the forest beyond the shaded edge. But even after the battle, the night was not over. In the funeral's final moments, Thorn's moth joined itself with Al, transforming him before the gathered courts and elevating him to the position of the warden of the shaded edge. Now the party must face the consequences of everything that has changed. But what did Baron Morady truly place within Della? Why is Zeb so important in the Baron's plans? And what does it mean for Al to become the Warden of the Shaded Edge? All of this and more today on Saving Throw Society. Welcome to Saving Throw Society as we present Barrier City's New Orleans. Laissez le bon temps rouler and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the jazz. They say a city breathes, but New Orleans doesn't just breathe, it hums, it sweats, and it sings. July 2018, the air is so thick it feels like you could carve your name into it and watch it linger, but midnight doesn't cool things down, it just changes the rhythm. The sun hands the city off to the neon and the trumpet calls, and somewhere between the flicker of a street lamp and the echo of a saxophone, you start to understand this place. It doesn't really sleep, it just changes masks. So we're not talking a city that never sleeps like New York City. This is completely different. Down in the French Quarter, the streets glisten, not from rain, but from 1,000 spilled drinks, beer, hurricanes, wine slushes, and the slow, steady press of heat. Music leaks from every doorway, not plays, it oozes out like the buildings can't hold it anymore. A brass band argues with a blues guitar 2 corners over, and somehow neither one wins. There's history here, not the quiet kind tucked behind glass, but the kind that follows you. You feel it in wrought iron balconies and the uneven sidewalks and the way that people talk, like the past is still sitting beside them, sipping something strong and judging you. But kindly. And in July, the storms roll in like an uninvited guest, sudden, loud, gone before you finish cursing them. Thunder rattles the bones of the city, and for a moment, everything pauses, like even New Orleans is listening, but it never really lasts, because this city, it doesn't stop, not for heat, not for rain, not for anything. And tonight, something else, something new is moving through it. Onyx, you passed through the portal in a very traditional manner. No sneaking through, not for you. You claimed citizenship to the material by your blood. You are, after all, half human. Now, for those of you less familiar with the immigration process, first, don't expect a line, not the kind you're used to. Crossing from the Feywilds into the nation of New Orleans isn't a matter of distance, it's a matter of agreement. The portal isn't marked by fences or rivers. It's marked by understanding, and more dangerously, by misunderstanding. You don't arrive, you're admitted. The process begins before you even realize it has. Somewhere in the Feywilds, you'll be offered a choice that doesn't feel like one. A favor, a name, a memory, a promise you think is small, that's your paperwork. That's your visa. If you give the wrong thing, you won't be denied entry. You'll simply never find the door. And if you give the right thing, that's when the crossing opens. It usually looks something ordinary, a doorway that wasn't there before, a stretch of road that bends just a little too far, music drifting through trees where there shouldn't be a band. Follow it and eventually you'll step out somewhere in the French Quarter, though it won't look exactly like the one the locals know. You'll be greeted not by officers but by listeners. They don't ask you for your documents, they ask you for your story. Who were you in the Feywilds? What you left behind? Why you came? And here's the important part, the part you must answer truthfully, but not completely. Too much truth and you risk anchoring yourself to what you were. Too little and the city won't know where to place you. They write nothing down. The city remembers for them. Next comes the naming. In the nation of New Orleans, your name is both passport and liability. If your Fey name is too powerful or too dangerous, it will be taken from you gently or otherwise and replaced. You may be given something new, something that fits the rhythm of the city, something that can be spoken aloud without consequence. Refusing this step is not against the rules, but it is strongly discouraged. People who insist on keeping their true names tend to disappear into contracts they don't recall signing. After that, you'll be issued your anchor. This is what keeps you here. It might be a place, a person, a song, a debt, a desire. Without an anchor, the city won't hold you. You'll slip back in the Feywilds the moment your attention wanders. Most newcomers don't realize this part is binding until they try to leave. And only then are you considered processed. There are no stamps, there's no papers, no tidy approval, just a quiet shift like the city has decided you belong, or that you'll do. And if you made it that far, well, welcome to New Orleans. Try not to owe the wrong person anything. Now, this all covers the Fey side, but once you crossed over the portal, you are in the material, and well, then you have to deal with jazz. Not that kind of jazz. The jurisdictional authority for zone and zenith migration. The humans thought they were just so clever with that one. On the human side of New Orleans, the process looks almost disappointingly normal. Bureaucracy. That's the point. By the time someone is handed off to jazz, they've already crossed the impossible threshold. What happens next is about making the impossible livable. It starts in a building that used to be something else. It's always a building that used to be something else. A clinic, a records office, a school administration wing, something with linoleum floors, flickering fluorescent lights that hum just a little too loud. The kind of place humans trust because it feels tedious, mundane, boring. They check you in. Not with your true name, no, that's already been handled by the Fae, but with whatever name the city has decided you can carry safely. A clipboard is involved, a form always. The questions are mundane to the point of absurdity. Do you have an address? Have you experienced any recent temporal inconsistencies? On a scale of 1 to 10, how solid do you feel right now? They don't expect you to understand all the questions. They expect you to answer anyway, and then comes intake observation. It's a human. It's always a human. Sits across from you and watches, not just listens, watches how you sit, how you blink, whether your reflection agrees with you. They're trained for this, though they'll never say how. Some are former social workers, some EMTs, some people that just don't look away when the world got strange. They document everything in careful, grounded language. Subject exhibits mild disassociation from linear time. Subject refers to hunger as a suggestion. Subject uncertain whether doors require permission or not. No magic in the wording. That's intentional. The less mystical it sounds, the more it sticks. After that, orientation. They walk you through the rules of the material plane, the way you'd explain a job to a new hire. You need to eat regularly. You need to rest even if you don't naturally sleep. You might think you not need to, but you do. You cannot agree to things you don't understand, and here that includes idioms. When someone says drop by any time, that does not mean literally. There are pamphlets. There's always pamphlets. Someone spent a long time writing them, plain language with little diagrams. One of them is titled something like, "So You're Living with Mortals Now, a Practical Guide." This is the part they don't rush. They'll give you small human things to anchor you further. Routine, repetition, predictability, a cup of coffee at the same time every day, a walk down the same block every day, maybe even a job, something simple, structured. The idea isn't to erase what you were, it's to give your mind something that obeys rules. They monitor for slippage because sometimes the Fae don't stay. A person might forget gravity for a moment, or speak in a tense that hasn't happened yet, or try to pay for something with a promise instead of money. When that happens, Jazz intervenes gently but firmly, correcting, redirecting, reminding. You're here now. You have responsibilities. You don't owe those kind of debts anymore. And finally, we have integration. This is the quiet part, the part where they stop hovering. You get an ID, a lease maybe, a place in the rhythm of the city. You learn the sound of your own footsteps on pavement, the weight of humidity in your lungs, the way music spills out of places like the French Quarter and doesn't ask anything in return. And if everything goes well, eventually no one can tell. Not really. Except you might look physically different from everyone else, but that's besides the point. This is New Orleans after all. Except Jazz. They keep your file open. Not because they expect you to fail, but because they understand something most people don't. Being human isn't a one-time event, it's a process. And some days you have to choose it all over again. But you have to stick to their rules. Onyx, you were always responsible, always the rule follower. Unlike how Al entered the city, you followed all the guidelines to a T, all the while Nyx incessantly chattered insults in the back of your mind at everything that happened. And you were left with a place to live and a few options for jobs, but none of them really seemed to suit you. Clerk at a store, too quiet. Bad thoughts come when it's too quiet. Looking at physicality, one member of Jazz suggested going into the Arcane Police, the specialized task force for dealing with newly magic-infused city. You considered that, but then saw how people in the city react to law enforcement. You didn't want more people to be afraid of you than have to be. So you spent time wandering the streets, just exploring. Where would you have traveled most frequently?
I would probably have visited coffee shops to try to blend in, to learn more about humans and how they function. I would have gone to watch at churches for weddings, for funerals, anything to show how people deal with emotions and what is considered normal in the human realm.
Do you think you would have gone to any large events, large gatherings of cultural significance?
I probably would have gone to these events, but I would stay far back. Like, as Mardi Gras would come, I would watch from a window afar. I would never be in the middle of anything. I'm just observing.
And that brings us into the late summer, early fall of 2018. It is a killer season for the New Orleans Baby Cakes. It's all anyone's talking about. They are crushing the competition. And they're just, it's on everyone's minds. You have no idea what baseball is. Baseball is completely foreign. They don't really have much in the way of sports. They don't do physical competitions usually. It's more magic, intellectual promises of competitions and poems. This is intriguing to you, and it's here that you find yourself outside of the stadium debating whether or not to go in to watch a game.
I don't know if Onyx would go in. That is just, there are so many people. The bad thoughts continue to grow. I think if she were to enter, she wouldn't go and sit by the stand. She would stand behind the stands and just kind of peer through the seats to see the field.
You are standing outside the stadium, you're not entering, and I need you to make what's called a wisdom save.
That's a nat 20 plus 5 for a 25.
On a nat 20, you decide to fully enter the stadium, go up into the stands. You are standing behind the stands, but you don't quite realize that you're blocking one of the aisles. The nat 20 was to decide, did you have the fortitude to actually make it into the stadium? You did. You did. You're blocking one of the aisles, and you feel a sort of tap on your shoulder. Zeb, what would you say to Onyx as you tried to get down the aisle to your seat?
Of course it's Zeb.
Excuse me. I believe you're standing in the path that is most frequented by the people who are here to see this fine baseball game. And as you can see, I have this helmet, and it's full of ice cream. And if I don't sit down in the next 5 minutes, the ice cream is gonna melt. Now, if the ice cream melts, that is gonna ruin this game for me. And I don't know you don't know me, but I love this team, and I also love ice cream. So could you kindly please find your seat, like the rest of the people here in the stands, so that I can sit down, enjoy the game, and eat this lovely ice cream out of this baby cake's helmet?
Onyx isn't gonna
what is Nick
move.
saying? I'm actually curious, what's Nick saying in your head?
Nyx is just shove him over and steal his ice cream. Just steal his ice cream and walk away. He'll never be none the wiser. Onyx will... How tall is Zeb, actually?
He says that he's 5'10", but he's really like 5'8".
Okay, so we're about the same height. Onyx is gonna get really close to your face and just be like, what kind of ice cream are you eating? That's it.
Well, you could see it, right? Here's the helmet. It's inside. You can see. No, there's nothing in there. You can see it's vanilla ice cream, the best flavor, and rainbow sprinkles, because I like to have a little bit of joy in my day. Thank you very much.
Has Onyx ever had ice cream?
No.
How did I know that Zeb was a vanilla guy?
I literally, the rainbow sprinkles, I was like, I knew it.
Have you ever had this before? It's great. It's the best ice cream in the world, as far as I know.
Okay. Onyx is gonna move out of your way, but she's gonna follow you to your seat. She's gonna come and sit right next to you.
Do you have your sword with you?
Yes, always.
So Zeb is like eating the ice. Zeb sits down and like he's like, settling into a seat, and then he just kind of like glances over and is like,
Is this your seat right next to mine?
Yes. And she's just gonna maintain hard eye contact.
Okay, well, God, this is a little bit weird. I guess you could say we're friends now. I'm Zeb. What's your name?
I'm Onyx. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, Onyx. Did you get any sort of snacks or anything for the game?
No, I'm not familiar with your guys' snacks.
What do you mean by your guys' snacks? Like the baby cakes?
Yes.
Oh, well, okay. Is this your first game?
It is.
Oh my. So you never had the ice cream before?
I have not.
Well, you're in luck because I have brought my trusty Leatherman tool, and on it has an extra spoon. Would you like some ice cream?
I would love some.
Zeb holds it, puts the spoon in and gives it to Onyx.
Onyx will try a bite of the ice cream, and it is probably the best thing that she's ever had.
Pretty good, right?
It is amazing.
So, like, are you from around here?
No, I'm a visitor.
Oh. So, how long are you in New Orleans for?
I haven't decided yet. I'm still trying to find my place.
I get that.
Behind you, you're talking to each other, and you start to hear what sounds like somebody who's already had too much beer. just being belligerent. He's clearly in the wrong seat. Someone's trying to sit with their family, and this is my seat. This is my seat. You go back away. This is where I sit. I sit here every game. I'm the biggest fan of Baby Cakes. #1 fan. Baby Cakes. Baby Cakes. Baby Cakes. And he's being belligerent, and he's doing everything. And he begins to start pushing. What you see is not a very old girl. She's maybe 13 or 14. She's just trying to sit with her little brother. She took him to a game. Onyx, I need you to make another wisdom save.
Oh, God. Well, I have completely gone backwards. That was a nat 1.
Ice
Plus
cream.
my 5 for a 6.
What does Nyx do as she comes out for the first time in New Orleans?
So many options. Nyx is going to whip around and grab the guy by his throat and lift him up into the air and squeeze.
You are doing this. You realize you sort of have your heartbeat in your ears as this is happening. Sort of a tinnitus effect happens, and you sort of lose track of anyone else in the stadium. For all you care, it's you and him. And you are suddenly... Roll another wisdom save. I know I just asked for one. This one's with disadvantage. I want to see what happens.
I already had a disadvantage. Okay. An 11.
You feel his throat in your hands. You feel his pulse. You don't see him anymore. You don't see anyone in the entire stadium. You don't see anything in the stadium. You are in your house in the Feywilds, surrounded by the dismembered body of your mother. There's blood, there's viscera, there's organs. You hear a voice. Not Onyx's voice. Not anyone's voice in the stadium.
Kill him. Kill him. Kill him right now. Show them who you are. Kill him. Kill him. End his life.
Well,
I need, using Nyx's stats, what check do you think is most appropriate to try to block out the voice, the new voice, the new persona that you are hearing, that you've heard before, Nyx has heard before, but not since the day your mother's life ended, and Onyx has never heard this voice.
I think I'm gonna do a persuasion, and the persuading voice is gonna be Onyx. Just, you can't do this, we just got here, they will send us back. We will be right back to where we were, right back in that home if we do this.
Can I give the help action? Because while this is happening, I dumped the ice cream helmet on Onyx's head. And I'm like, what are you doing?
What the hell are you doing?
You can roll with advantage.
Let's go. Ice cream advantage.
A 23.
Make a perception check with disadvantage. You do succeed on what we'll resolve that in a second, but make a perception check with disadvantage.
6.
Onyx resumes control of the body as Nyx releases. Nyx is frankly terrified. not to tell you how your character feels, but I would assume that Nyx would feel terrified. This is a voice that you haven't heard since waking up surrounded by pieces of your mother. This is a voice that Onyx has no recollection of. As Onyx resumes the body, you think that Nyx was fully involved. You think this was all Nyx yet again. On a 6 perception, before sound of the stadium resumes, you have the feeling like someone is standing directly behind you. When you turn, no one is there, but you hear as if someone whispers into your ear.
Ugh, I don't like that at all.
Sound resumes in the stadium. It doesn't come all at once. Bits and pieces resume. The first thing you hear is the music from the speakers in the stadium comes back. Lighthearted jazz playing. You hear the sound of the audience. You hear the sound of the announcer. You feel cold trickle of ice cream coming down your neck. And you feel someone shaking your shoulder as Zeb is trying to get you to drop the man.
Onyx, what are you doing? Put him down. This is not how we act at a Baby Cakes game. We need decorum.
Onyx is going to let him go. She is going to just say, "I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. I need to leave." And she's going to put the man where she was sitting and she's going to walk away.
You walk away. How are you feeling? How's Onyx feeling right now?
Onyx feels like she's about to cry.
What is the anchor that you decided would anchor you to the material? When they were addressing your sort of joining the material plane, what was the anchor you decided on?
Just finding a normal place to live and integrating with society well. Just want a nice, quiet home and a nice, quiet job where she can do her investigating like on her own, but they don't have to know that.
I'll say the other thing that anchors you here, you feel it on your back. Your father's sword is from the material plane. It's not from the Feywilds, it's from the material plane. It anchors you here as well. And you feel the weight of that sword on your back. If it swings and you walk and move your shoulders back and forth, it hits you in the back a couple times. And as it swings with movement of your body, you sort of feel the gravity return to the world. What kind of conversation is happening in your head?
So, I feel like it's going to be a conversation between me and Nyx. It's just, Onyx, I understand why you did that, but we cannot be doing that. Like, we are here for a purpose. Like, we can't be doing that. And then it's just Nyx not replying. Nyx is also very clearly scared and has basically just shut herself off. And so I'm trying to have a conversation with her and she's just not answering me.
Zeb, do you follow Onyx?
Yep, I was just gonna say Zeb runs up and goes up to Onyx and is like,
Okay, listen, I talked to security and I used a little Zeb charm. I smoothed it over. But I don't know where you're from, but you gotta know that you can't be doing this to people in New Orleans or frankly just in general. Is everything okay?
Everything is fine. I'm just not used to living here and I think it'd be just be better if I just left. I don't think I'm welcome here.
Well, I mean, we all make mistakes. I mean, granted, I've never grabbed somebody by the throat and lifted them up before, but I'd like to think that I could. In any event, you know, I've got a family bar, and I like it because it makes I feel like everybody who walks in feels at home and is invited. Do you want to go get a drink?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay. I know I offered, but I want you to know how big of an ask this is. I am going to miss a baby cakes game. But you're one of my best friends now, so I feel like I need to take care of you.
I'll make it up to you, I promise.
You go to Cold Springs Cold Brews, and you continue the rest of your day. You have, what does Onyx drink?
Onyx will drink a Dirty Shirley.
Alexis is super psyched about that. Onyx drinks her drink. Zeb talks about the baby cakes, about the bar. For the first time, I think since coming to New Orleans, this place feels easy. This bar feels welcoming. It feels homey. And you see a sign on sort of a bulletin board at the bar where bands post flyers, people post wanted stuff, signs, and there's a sign that says that has the Cold Springs Cold Brews sort of logo on it, and it says help wanted bar security.
Onyx will turn to Zeb and ask, are you guys still hiring for the security position? If so, I'd like to apply.
Well, I'd have to ask my mom and dad. I'm only 16, but I think, based on what I've seen today, I think you're highly qualified.
Good. I'm glad you didn't ask for a resume because I don't know what that is.
Is Zeb drinking alcohol at 16?
Zeb doesn't drink.
Oh yeah, Zeb canonically is sober. Okay.
His Dirty Shirley is a virgin.
Zeb's just drinking straight grenadine. I think that you continue on just having a conversation. Eventually, Onyx is given the position with Zeb's endorsement of, I watched her pick a guy up by his throat over her head. I don't think that Nyx comes out again until present day.
Yeah, that's
I don't think anything else interferes with Onyx's adjustment. I will say, when you go home that day to your apartment, there is someone waiting for you.
Of course there is.
You recognize him. His name is George Stevens. He wears square frame glasses. He's wearing a sort of very formal looking black suit. And he pulls out, he introduces himself, he introduces himself every time you meet him. You don't know him, but every time you meet him, he introduces himself. He pulls out his wallet, flips it up to his ID. George Stevens, Jazz. I'm here from Jazz. We heard of a little altercation that happened at the ballpark today. Just wanted to make sure everything was okay, Miss Onyx. Just want to make sure that you're adjusting well.
I feel like anytime he shows up, Onyx is very careful with her words, because one wrong move and she could get kicked out. So Onyx is just gonna say, hi, yes, there was a small incident. It worked out. I now have a job. I have somewhere that I can work every day. Like, it was a very successful day for me. I'm integrating well.
Just make sure you keep it there, Miss Onyx. We would hate to have to take you in. The whole reprocessing position that puts us in, it's never fun to have to deport someone.
Yes. Thank you so much. With a fucking smile on her face. Because she wants to kill him.
Clenched teeth. What does Nyx chime in at this point, or Nyx still quiet?
I'm pretty sure Nyx will chime in just because she hates this piece of shit. And she's just like, I swear to God, if they try to deport us, we'd kill him faster than they could even think. And then they'd never see us again. Honestly, that might be the move. And then she goes back to being quiet.
Well, George takes a moment. He looks you up and down. Glad to hear you're adjusting well. Just make sure I don't have to come back out here, Miss Onyx, sometime soon. We take our jobs very seriously here at Jazz. And we want to make sure everyone maintains a happy adjustment to mortal life in New Orleans.
Yeah, totally understand. So glad that you invited yourself into my apartment. Thank you.
Just make sure that you're keeping it up. And he walks out the door, and heads out. You don't see from him again for a while. He checks in routinely just to make sure things are going okay, but there's I don't think there's any real incident in Onyx's life. Any persistent incidents in Onyx's life until the events of the last few days. And that's where we'll join the present day, where we are in the Glimmer Grove. You all have just foiled, pretty successfully, what seems to be a major plot to ruin the High Archfey and courts of the Feywilds. None of the Archfey have perished from the attack.
Yeah.
What I need right now would be anyone who wants. Or actually, not even who wants. I just want to see that anyone would notice this. I need perception checks, except for Al, who will make with disadvantage because Al is very preoccupied with dealing with the whole thing that just happened.
But Sam, the moth.
Yeah, I just had a super moth collide into me and turn me into an archfey, so I think my senses are heightened, Samson.
You're not an archfey. You're not an archfey.
Yeah.
So I got a 1.
Oh no. I got a
Looking for
dirty
anyone who
20.
I got a 19.
Okay.
21 for me.
16.
Okay. So the only one who notices anything right away is Onyx. Onyx, or Nyx, I should say. From the corner of your eye, because Zeb was, again, hiding by the reflecting pool. You swear you didn't see it outright, but you were looking in the reflection, and you saw Zeb walking away from the reflecting pool with what looked like an older, maybe 40s or 50s mortal man that had a strong familiar resemblance to Zeb. But when you look up and look around, you don't see Zeb or that man anywhere. No one else would have caught this.
Was Zeb's pant legs rolled up like he was, in like a couple inches of water?
Too soon, bro.
Oh no, that took me a minute.
Brutal. That's brutal.
Oh.
No. Anthony, Al,
Yes.
you are looking at everything that has happened. You're looking at everyone. And you realize suddenly that everyone is looking at you. And you sort of realize they're looking for direction.
I'm gonna look out at everyone, and when I realize that they're looking at me for like what to do, I'm just like, well, good job everyone on defending yourselves and each other, and driving back these would-be attackers. We should I think it's time we get indoors and regroup. Everyone is invited for what would have been a welcoming meal, and now is a I guess pseudo post-mortem / celebratory of life of my father and of our life for having won the day, I guess. I look over at like my sister for like encouragement. Is she nearby?
Namira took a hunting party into the woods because you directed them to chase after the
Right. So then I don't see her, and then I look over for my mom. And what's my mom doing?
Selenway steps towards you and gets close enough that only you can hear what she says. Just relax. Just be confident and maybe invite the leaders of the courts to go. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think we need to have a meeting of war.
Do I say that out loud?
I would say that everyone is invited for food and dancing and pleasure, and then you should.
Dayla likes the sound of that.
Everybody's like,
And that you should direct the leaders of the high courts and any other leader of a lower court that wishes to come to a war planning meeting, because I don't think this is over.
Okay. So everyone, please join us for food and dancing and entertainment of varieties. And I would just very much like to invite the leaders of all the courts to converse about what seems to be some necessary war planning, because I can only assume that this is the first of a bigger plan. So just follow me, and I'm gonna start leading everyone to I guess I don't know, the banquet hall or whatever.
Salome walks in step with you, and she sort of speaks with you and tries to guide you as best she can. You are heading this meeting. This is your court. They are in your land. You are currently the leader of an entire court of people. Do you wish to have a council present at the meeting to help guide you?
Yes, please.
Do you have anyone in mind?
Yeah. I definitely want, I want Onyx there, or I guess Nyx. Dela, Zeb, definitely want Zeb there. He's got a nice level head. He'll bring some real thoughtfulness to everything. If Nymira is back, she should join. You. I kind of look back over at Chomp, and I go, "Am I a jerk if I bring everyone but Chomp?" Does that make me a bad friend?
It's your war council. Pick who you trust to help guide your actions.
All right, so Chomp and an ensemble as well. But if we're setting the table arrangements, one, I want Zeb right next to me. I value his input. Then I want Nymira, and then you on my other side. Dela next to you. Onyx next to Nymira. And then Ensemble, and then Chomp. Just
Okay, I'll let your friends know. You all get messages pinged into your heads from Selenway. And Al, you see her look stunned for a moment.
what's
Al,
wrong?
I can't feel Zeb on this plane.
What are you talking about? He was just
Zeb's not in the Feywilds.
he was with us when we were fighting.
I don't know. But he's
Can you
not
ask
here.
if anyone's seen him?
You all get another message in your minds, and if anyone has seen where Zeb went.
Nyx will shoot back that she thought she saw him walk away with a man, but she looked for him and wasn't sure because she couldn't verify.
Did you come? Salome conveys this to you. Did you come with another person? Fuck you. Fuck you in your face. Ah.
How long until that's on the soundboard?
I was about to say that's a new soundboard clip. There it is.
I mean, I usually do it as I'm editing the episodes, but I can make special exceptions.
Can we expedite this one, please? for me?
Expedite this one.
Thank you.
Did someone else arrive in the Feywilds with you?
I mean, it was just us, Lena. I don't think anyone else was with us.
Do you wish to send a search party into the wilds?
Are you
I can
positive?
tell you with certainty he's not on this plane anymore.
Then no, we can't risk sending a party out. If you're telling me for certain he's not here on this plane, then we can't risk sending a party out.
No, he is not anymore on this plane. She continues walking with you. She sort of gives you some guidance as to just notes on the leaders of the courts that you're going to be dealing with. She sort of breaks it down. You're going to have to appoint... You are the first offense. If this is a war that's spurred from the attack on Thaloran and that ultimately led to his death as well as the attack on your brother, then you are the leader of what this force will be. This is in Twilight Court's judgment to enact on this.
Okay.
You're going to have to appoint commanders and generals.
Okay.
It can be anyone, but I can make recommendations as to who I think, based off of different experiences that I've had with dealing with several of these courts. I can make recommendations, or you can go with what you feel is best. You are, for all intents and purposes, our leader now.
No, I definitely. I'm gonna need some direction. I really don't know who from these other courts would best fit for certain, roles.
You seem, from what I've observed, and you realize that Selenway does a lot more observing than she does acting, a lot more watching than she does speaking. What's your relationship with the Queen of Air and Darkness?
Well, it doesn't matter anymore, but I might have owed her a favor, and she told me we were even just now, so I guess we're on pretty even grounds with each other. Friendly isn't the right term, but also it's not like we have a bad relationship. We just
I saw her do something today that I have not seen her do to many people, and she showed you respect. I would recommend that you make her one of your war council.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
as a continuing show of respect.
Done.
It's not often that she shows respect to anyone. I believe, as long as you feel that my faith is correct, you should appoint Namira to be general of our army of the
Done.
Twilight Court. Our new union with Daybreak, you can appoint one of their military leaders as one of your generals. If it's a sign of good faith. I don't personally know much about any of them. You'll have to talk with Liana about that, but I would assume that we would want to include them. And then typically we would invite one more to make up 4. I know who I would wish to appoint, but he hasn't been seen in at least a century.
Who were you thinking?
What do you know about the Court of Forgotten Things?
Court of Forgotten Things. I mean, the last I even remember of them was at my, engagement party. I don't even think he was there for that.
He wasn't. Part of the problem with the magic that is afflicting their court, no one's quite sure how long he's been gone. It's probably a lost cause, but finding King Fendrick would be he would make a good leader. There's very few more magically adept and powerful than him. But that's a long shot.
Yeah, unless someone's got some, powerful location magic. I don't know. If only we had some, a magic compass that can point at, things that, you want or need.
That sounds like some fairy tale bullshit.
You find yourself in a room set aside with a long, ovular table. A place set at the head that Selenway guides you to. And you are faced with a group of the most powerful Fae and Archfey in the wilds, all looking to you. Now, for those listening out there, keep in mind, Al is level 6, faced with probably at least 15 level 15 to 20 high magic users.
But I have a special tattoo. That means I'm equal to them.
As they enter, you see they sort of all acknowledge you as they walk past, each one nodding to you in reverence for what has happened today. And that's when you notice that just the sheer lack. I mean, you knew that Selenway said he wasn't on this plane, but no one takes the seat you designated for Zeb. The other seat that lies empty is Namira's, as she is in the woods, trying to hunt out the severed. You all sit at the table. It's a great wooden table. And one by one, they all look up at you. Leaders of high courts, leaders of lower courts, the Queen of Air and Darkness, the Trickster King, the King of the Verdant Court, the Tempest Crown. And that's when you notice for the first time, Liana's also there. And she comes over to you. How are you feeling about this?
Me as a person, Samson, or her coming to me, or is she saying that to me?
She's saying that to you.
So I go, feeling about what?
Al, a
Everything.
lot has happened
Uh-huh.
in the last hour alone, let alone 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You lost a father, a brother, and your entire court was attacked at his funeral.
Mm-hmm. The time for feeling will be later. Right now, we have to make sure we take smart actions. Otherwise, a lot of stuff is going to happen to a lot of people.
Okay. I'm here if you need to lean on someone.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We should get this war council started. Do you want to sit with me or do you want to sit with your family? I don't know how we should do this.
Well, I am not a part of the Twilight Court yet, so it would be fitting that I sit with Daybreak for now.
Okay.
But you are the leader of this court. You are the leader of this council. I will do as you wish.
I don't wish to break tradition more than we already have today in certain ways. So, why don't you sit with your court, and that way you can also speak with your father and whoever else about the plans for what I am going to bring up during this meeting easier.
Okay. Chomp, you are sitting at the table surrounded by the most powerful magical beings of this realm.
Yeah, my feet up are on the table.
You feel a tap on your shoulder, and you don't recognize who this is, but it'd be impossible to recognize him anyway, as his face is constantly shifting. And he says to you, now, I don't think I have ever seen someone as intriguing as you. Can you explain to me? I'm just curious. What is your parentage?
Fuck if I know. I was an egg and then I hatched. And then some douchebags raised me and ditched me on the island when they were done with me.
Well, I'm just curious because you have the characteristics of both a man and what I believe the mortals call an alligator.
Your powers of observation are astounding.
Well, how does I guess what I'm wondering is how does either human or elf procreate with an alligator?
I don't know, dude, I haven't tried.
This will keep me up for days. I just His face shifts and it becomes
You got something on your face there.
It becomes the face of sort of a scaly green tinted woman.
That's weird.
I wonder now, if you were to one day seek a mate, would it be more like this, or would it be more traditional alligator?
That's not something I've really thought about, I guess. Al's sister is kinda hot, though.
I know I had not noticed her temperature before, but I'll make sure to keep an eye out for it because it can be very inconvenient to be too warm at times.
Especially if you're wearing a sweater or something. That's why I'm in the overalls.
I think it will be very interesting to get to know you a little better. I love meeting interesting people and intriguing things, and they can be so funny sometimes. The tricks that we play on each other in our minds.
I know what the fuck you're talking about. You gotta play a trick on anybody. I'm just here.
Could I, just as a friendly thing, I have met you for the first time, I would like to give you a gift.
Sure, I love presents. Nothing bad ever happens when people give me shit.
He hands you a sort of pocket mirror. It's not like a full mirror, but it's a folding mirror, almost like a compact, but it's way more ornate than what you would find in a drugstore or in the material plane. Tell me, what do you see when you look in this mirror?
Hey, Sam, what do I see when I look at this mirror?
Well, do you open it to look inside?
He asked me what I see. I guess I look at it. I'm not smart.
You open it and see a sort of combination of your adopted father's features in a younger version of themselves, as if they had been meshed into some sort of child.
Like all three of them in one hybrid baby person?
Not a baby, but like a young man.
Little boy person?
More like 20s, about the age that Chomp is.
It's weird.
I've never seen that guy before, but it kinda looks like if you take all three of my asshole fathers and then mash them into one person. That's that guy.
Isn't that interesting?
I guess you want to tell me what the fuck it means.
Keep the mirror, look at it every now and see if the image changes. I would be very curious.
I know the feeling. What are you talking about?
He slaps you on the back with a big, "Oh, we're gonna be great friends, you and I. I can't wait to see how far you come."
That's what she said.
Della, you are seated, and Onyx, you are seated up at the head of the table by Al before he starts directing towards everyone else. You see Lena is there as well, at a nearby chair. Her arm has been healed. It was broken in several places. She's doing much better. And Della, you are sitting next to the Queen of Air and Darkness. It is noticeably colder. There is noticeably a gust of wind sort of traveling around her. And it's about 20 or 30 degrees colder near her than it is anywhere else in the rest of the room. She sits with her gaze directed straight at Al, but not in a way that she's admiring, in a way that she's studying, she's focusing, she's very vigilantly staring at him, taking in every detail as much as she can. You feel a sort of presence from your other side as Liana takes her seat with the Court of Daybreak, which unfortunately is right next to Lena. Liana looks at the two of you. We haven't met. You're traveling with Al. I'm assuming you met him in the material. Have you known him long?
Not too long, actually. We've been traveling for a little while together, but, it's still fairly new. But I'd like to say we know each other at least a little bit.
He's truly an amazing person, I think. I think he's going to do great things. He doesn't believe in himself much, but I watched the way that you all handled supporting him through his funeral, through his father's funeral. And she looks at Lena. He seems to really trust you. I watched him look at you several times during the funeral. Lena says,
Della tries to glance at Lena's face just to see if she can tell what she's feeling and see if she can get any cues on what to do next. She's been trying to keep it under wraps as best she can and not to let on that, things are going on there.
Make an insight check.
Dang.
With advantage because it's your sister.
Okay, that's fair. Ooh. Well, the first one was a 7, and the second one's a 16.
Lena's not the best at keeping secrets. This is probably the biggest secret she's ever had to keep. And it is doing everything she can in her power right now not to blurt out that she kissed Al like the day before.
Della's definitely feeling a little squeamish in her seat. She's trying her best to just also not blurt anything out. She's very uncomfortable positioned where she's positioned right now because she feels some type of way and sisterly, protection, very protective over her sister and kind of wanting to reach across the table and throttle, a few people. But, she's got to keep it together, hold back, because she also doesn't want to die.
She looks at Lena and looks at you. I'm really looking forward to getting to know Al's friends from the material. I know he was really excited to visit and travel and explore and experience new things. And at experience new things, Lena just sort of like hiccups down like a gulp of something. And at that moment, Salenway comes up behind you, Al, and said, "I think we should get started. How do you want to proceed with beginning?"
I guess the only way to begin is to begin. So I guess we should talk about how long Dad was sick for, right? Because that's how long at least this plot has been in motion. Who knows what other courts have been infiltrated?
Your father's illness began about 2 weeks after you had left. And Al, you think back, and the first time you got moths was about 2 or 3 weeks after you had left. It started with just a black spider of veins on his shoulder until eventually it had consumed most of his upper body. It affected his magic, it affected his stamina, it affected his ability to maintain our borders and the veil and the paths between dreaming and waking. She dresses everyone. We discovered only last night that one of our own acolytes had been replaced with an intruder wearing his face. He has since been handled, but all of this seems to be much more prevalent and dangerous than we originally believed. They're getting bolder. The Severed have been a problem for the Wilds for a long time, and we've all turned a blind eye. She looks at each of the High Court leaders. All of us, I included, we all turned a blind eye. We let them grow. We let them become more powerful. We let them do whatever they wanted in whatever way. Because we considered ourselves untouchable. Let them do what they want with the material. Let them do what they want with the unaffiliated to courts. The courts are above it all. I think we've seen that the courts are not above it all. We are not immune. We are not impervious. Alar, what do you believe our first course of action needs to be?
I think we need to... just shore up ourselves and strike back. Because Now, I don't know if any of the other courts have a hidden, member of the Severed trying to do anything like they did here. But it's a very big possibility. And I think we should all take a good look at ourselves, who we trust in our courts, strengthen our numbers, combine our numbers, and we need to go after the Severed where it counts and take their court down.
Ensemble, make a perception check.
That's an 8.
That's an 8
That's an 8
total with your modifier.
with my modifier and everything.
Then you don't notice anything. Ensemble doesn't see anything. The meeting proceeds. You name your generals. Who do you pick for the last general?
So the last one we had talked about, King Frederick or whatever his name was.
Fendrick.
King Fendrick. So probably during the meeting, I would have at some point made a comment about how there's no representation from his court, and just made a, has anyone been able to track him using magic or anything like that? And if there's no response, that is oh yeah, I could do that, I haven't tried, or we've tried that, we can't find him. I probably wouldn't have said, let's get a general that we have no idea where they are. So I think the last general, I look to everyone that is here. And, I've named Queen of Air and Darkness, the Daybreak Court, my sister. I'm looking around and I go, I lean over to probably to my mom, and I go, is there any member of the other courts that you feel could sit on this council with the most trust, other than who we've already named?
Name one of the leaders of a lesser court as a general.
Samson?
No, I'm getting it is important that we get all of the support, and by naming a lesser court as a general, it will bring the rest of the lesser courts to our cause.
So I'm nodding and I go, what are the lesser courts?
Well, we had named a couple of them. The Court of Tempest is here. The Court of Verdant Green is here.
Mm-hmm.
The Court of... I forgot what they called them. Maybe the Water's Edge. The Court of the Water People is here.
I feel like the water people attacked Zeb today, so... let's see. We've got Tempest, Nature, Water... Samson, describe each leader of each of those courts to me, because I'm going to read a book by its cover.
The Court of the Verdant Green is led by a sort of... She almost looks as if her skin is made of wood itself. Her hair is bright green, flowing with flowers and leaves through it. And she has sort of elegant, long features. She's very much a dryad and not one of the elven people. The Tempest King stands very tall and broad. Everything about him is larger than life, essentially. Broad shoulders, as wide as a doorway, huge gut, big beard. Where his eyes should be, there is just pure electricity flowing through the ports that he views through. You did watch him hurl a lightning bolt at several Severed during the fight, and I think he did also do something to someone's weapon where he infused it with lightning. Yours. I think it was
I thought that was Aaron Darkness that helped me with that. Was that Tempest? I thought it was Aaron Darkness.
It was Tempest. He infused lightning into your spiritual weapon.
All right, so I already got vibe for him. So tell me about this water court.
They are the hardest to read of the lesser courts.
Are they just like water blob people, like in like the episode of Futurama?
They very much, they have true forms of themselves, but have the ability to basically become full liquid and become
a bunch of Alex
water.
Max.
Yeah, exactly. Very Alex Mack.
Sick.
I think that reference is too old for me to read it again. A bunch of Alex Max. They historically have not aligned themselves with anyone when things of conflict happen.
So I've got dryads, I got people that make me feel like Thor, and I've got people who normally wouldn't align themselves with anyone. Can I make an insight check on if I feel like if I made like the water people on like my war council, would they align themselves with me, or would it just be like they're only doing it because they're obligated now or something like that?
Roll insight.
Ooh. So that is a 19.
Very often the lesser courts are overlooked because they are just that, they're considered lesser. They very much, you get the feeling that they have not aligned themselves with anyone. Not because they don't view themselves as owing anything, but more they feel that no one would align themselves with them.
Alright, so I look over at the leader of this water court, and I go, would you do me the honor of sitting on my war council as well?
You watch as a murmur travels through the table. It gravitates and echoes outwards as someone from a high court, newly appointed leader, for the first time in maybe ever, has requested guidance and counsel from a lesser court. They stand all representatives from their court. My liege and new leader of the Twilight Court, we would be honored.
I just kind of do like a nod that, only us men get, Samson.
You motherfucker. Well, she's a woman, bitch. No,
I really thought when she talked, it was just gonna sound like blah 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 blah.
that's what the special effects are for.
No pressure.
You're gonna really hate what I do with it.
Solemnly looks at you. We have our war council, but there's something we have to take care of first to unify and make our court stronger. She glances at Liana. She glances back at you.
Womp, womp,
We still have to have a wedding. Selenway addresses everyone as the leader of the Liminal Vale, Land of Dreaming, and one of the leaders of this court. I would like to extend an invitation to all of you. Tomorrow, after everyone has rested, we will be having the wedding and union of the Daybreak and Twilight Court, where Alar and Liana will join our courts and strengthen this entire plane together. You have the rest of the day to enjoy yourself, to relax, to recuperate. Rooms will be made available to you, places of lodging, places of relaxation. And everyone sort of leaves after that. Y'all probably really want a long rest.
Yeah.
I'm
yes,
good,
please, Santhan.
Is there anything that anyone would be trying to do before going to sleep that night, or before getting like super drunk or partying?
I assume my wife-to-be would not be in the quarters with me or anything?
No.
I would very much like to have a conversation with Lena.
We will take care of that. I want to figure out if anyone else wants to do anything else first.
That's fine.
I would like...
Ladies
Go ahead,
first.
Chomp.
No, ladies first. I insist.
Oh, God, I feel like an asshole. I'm so sorry.
No.
All he's going to say is, I want to find Al's sister.
There was two things, but one of them was finding Al's sister.
I just want to check my ping.
That sounds like a personal thing. We should do that.
Yeah, maybe do that after the game.
You make a wisdom check with proficiency. Not a
19.
save, just check. A 19. If you had to guess, she is deep in the forest.
Okay.
That is what your seal is telling you, that she is far away from the court.
Okay.
Chomp,
Yes.
what do you want to do?
I would like to find Al's sister. No. So Chomp is a very in the moment being, but when there's a lull, he's been thinking back to the time when he first got back to the court and what he saw in the reflecting pool. So if there's another lull and he gets to think about that, and if there's no one else in the area in this downtime, he was going to go back and look again.
I think that's what we'll start with, is Chomp going back to reflecting. Do you bring anyone with you?
Absolutely not.
He would have brought Zeb.
Yeah, my buddy's cool.
You make your way to the reflecting pool. You get to the water's edge. What are you trying to do?
I want to figure out what I saw before. I want to make sense of it because I saw something horrific that doesn't jive with the memories that I have.
You look into the pool, and you see yourself standing there as you are now. It does not show you anything different. And then you see stepping up behind you is Sellenway looking over your shoulder into the pool as well. Sometimes the pool shows you what you need to see, and sometimes it shows you what it thinks you can handle. What did you see before?
I saw myself, but having done something bad. And I know I've done bad things, but like, this was different. I don't know.
Is that something that you're afraid of?
I guess there's been a lot of things going on the past few days or whatever, and I can't make sense of much of it. I mean, first of all, I think people thought I was joking because they kind of laughed it off and went to sleep. I asked where we were. I really don't know where we are right now. This doesn't seem like New Orleans anymore. We've been fighting all these weird things. I killed my fathers, but then I don't know why I was so mad at them other than they left me on an island. We visited some weird shop and I gave something to this weird dude to get this weird shiny hourglass thing. Somebody said I gave something to him. I don't remember giving anything to that guy. And now we're here, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I'm seeing pictures of myself in this lake of me doing really bad stuff I don't remember doing. I'm just trying to make sense of everything.
It is not always advisable to trust the reflections you see in the pool. They're not always true for all things forever. They might be true in a moment. They might show a fragment of a future that is yet to come, or that could never come. There's always a purpose to why you see what you see in the pool. You have a lot that you don't understand about your life, about your past, about what has happened to you, what you've given up, what you never had, where you come from. And she puts her two hands, she lifts them up and sort of cradles your face. When she closes her eyes, she opens them again. She looks at you straight in the eyes, and you sort of see yourself reflected clearly in them. But beyond that, you see the realm of twilight through her eyes. You see the realms of the Feywilds through her eyes. You see the day the barriers broke and magic crept into all the hidden spaces of the material. And you see an egg get hit by a wave of wild magic on the day the barriers broke. and crack just slightly, but not enough to destroy the life inside. You see magic filters in you see inside you see an embryo, you see magic go into the embryo begin to mutate and morph and change. You see cells dividing over time, not behaving how alligator embryos should. You see the egg shift and change, magic circulates through. Oh, Chomp, you never should have existed, and I'm so sorry for what's happened to you. Everything has a purpose, everything happens for a reason. But you're not truly of the material plane, you're not truly of the Feywilds, you're something that exists between the two. You are a child of both worlds. Not truly human, not truly alligator. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to not understand your place in what kind of world exists. It's okay. It is possible that the things you saw might happen one day. It's also possible they might not. The reflecting pool acts as a guide of possibilities. It's not definite, it's not ultimate, it's not exact. If you don't want that to happen, you can change your course through the rest of your life. As for what was taken from you, I don't know how to give that back to you. There is magic written into you that binds what was taken to the collector. No one can tell you, no one can give you back that memory. I could say it, but you wouldn't hear anything. Nothing would be audible to you because of the magic of that deal that was made. I think, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do in this moment?
Not really sure. For as long as I can remember, I could feel like what I wanted to do was protect my kind, if you can call them that now, I don't know. But what I saw there, I felt like I had already done something to hurt them that I don't fully remember. It doesn't know.
What do you want to do now?
Help my friends. I haven't had any of those before. But I do now. And I want to help them.
In this moment, you feel yourself develop a new sense of purpose, a new sense of path of what you want, what you believe. And Chomp, you are going to level up to level 6.
Nice.
With that, while you do the level up, she sort of leaves you to think about what you just said. We're going to go... was there anything Ensemble had wanted to do before the night was over?
I don't think so.
Do you go and join in festivities, or do you go back to quarters to rest?
I think it's been quite a long day, or more than. I think I'm gonna go rest.
You enter the quarters, and moments after, you hear a knock at the door.
I'll answer it.
I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Here I thought it was going to be my sister looking for Chomp, but Chomp's too busy with my mom.
Chomp's just getting all the Scanderdale girls.
Nice lady.
Now, did she Did she clear up your confusion about no longer being in New Orleans, or did she not answer it for you, Chomp?
No, I don't know where the fuck I am.
What did you get, Ensemble?
You said a charisma saving throw?
Charisma saving throw.
7.
That makes so much sense as you open the door and Amandine Bourgeois stands in front of you. I saw you in the meeting and you didn't seem to see me. I don't know how I know it's you, but I do. It's been a long time, Cacophony.
They just dead named you.
I don't go by that anymore.
Just dead named you. Fuck this person.
We call me Ensemble now. Hello, Amandine.
If you're here, I can only imagine that my father is very upset.
He's not the happiest.
He's not going to let this go.
It's fine with me. He can't have me.
You don't seem terribly surprised to see me here.
I am, but it's just been a really long day, so it's hard to be surprised by much right now. What are you doing here? How did you get here?
I left the syndicate and did everything in my power to get as far away as I could, and what's further away than a different plane. So I made a new home with new people. I am an acolyte of the Court of Daybreak, and I guess that I'm trying to find ways to atone for the sins of my father.
I'm trying to find ways to atone for the sins that your father made me commit. So I understand.
I'm sorry, I'm just
Eric!
Did you find Namira in the other room that you went to just now? Is that what this
Whoa,
is?
what's going on, guys? I don't understand what happened.
He's gonna walk away again and come back with a lampshade on his head.
That tie was getting stuffy, but
I'm
ready for the wedding now.
You I see you completely changed your outer appearance, but are you the same, I wonder, the same being that I sensed when you were being instructed to dismantle me piece by piece?
I think Ensemble's ball form would kind of poke itself out of the little face, the little opening in the face, and just kind of... Does this seem familiar? Maybe try to give her a... I don't know.
Give her a little nudge with your ball form.
Well,
if I had a nickel for every time my ball farm poked out the front.
Pause. Yes, but no.
You just put your ball in her like prosthetic fingers.
Amandine looks at you in a more serious way. How would you like to help me with something?
After what I've done to you, I think I owe it to you to do anything you ask.
First, get your ball out of my hand.
I think Katrina knows something about grabbing things by the balls. She closes the door, and you continue to talk, but we're not going to do that here with everyone else. I will send you a message later about what she asks and what she sort of plans for. And we go to the final scene before we rest for the night. We have Al. How would you have approached Lena?
So I would have probably found a moment when she was more by herself. Definitely would not have try to start the conversation if Della was like guarding.
Do you really think I would leave her for even a second?
Maybe you had to pee. I don't know.
Maybe I can just
I
magic
guess-
my pee away. I don't know.
Do you have prestidigitation?
No.
I think you have to pee yourself first, and then you can magic it away.
It still goes away, so it is a solution. It's just you have to be comfortable,
This
you
seems
know,
like it's
for
a
like
question
the
for Zed.
initial moment.
I think
What's
Zed
that? What's
can
that one I do
spell.
have? Like water bullet? Can I can I do that one?
And
Your water bullet
Just
just
shoot
your
it across the room.
Yeah, well,
Imagine
there's
if that's
one
a-
corner of
you
this
know-
room that just stinks.
You know what makes it worse is that water bullet can also be done by shooting it out your mouth.
Oh, that's true. Yes. I scratched that. Just kidding. I'll just go to the bathroom.
Do you think that when water Pokemon like shoot water out their mouths or their bodies that
It's
part
pee.
of it's pee?
Yeah, it's fake.
You guys.
To be fair, I've never seen Squirtle actually have to go to the bathroom, so it makes sense.
And on that note, I have seen Pikachu go to the bathroom, so it lines up.
Alright. Yeah.
What?
Go.
What?
Solid
Let's
theory.
keep going. No, we're gonna keep
Why
going.
are you
So
watching-
I will.
This is a
ask
roll
you
again thing.
that and roll again.
This is
I
a-
need
yep.
that information, but we must keep going.
So, so at one point when I see Dela is just not disappearing, I guess I sort of just like tail between my legs go up to them and I go, Dela, do you get in between us or do you just let things happen ready to like intervene if you need to?
Oh,
Like, do
as
I have
you-
to
as
ask
you
permission?
approach?
Yeah, do I have to ask permission to speak to her?
No. Like you definitely can come up to her. I'm just definitely awkwardly standing super close to the both of you.
So like a usual night at the bar.
Yeah, basically. You know, the usual rolling my eyes, all of that kind of thing.
Della's third wheeling. The only difference is that right now, JJ is not fourth wheeling.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just sort of sheepishly go up there, and I'm just like, can we talk? Do you want? Or,
I mean, what's there to talk about? You're getting married tomorrow, and I saw your father die and couldn't be there for you because that would have been improper to do in front of your wife to be, who was also trying to comfort you. What is my purpose in all of this anymore, Al?
you say purpose like a grand design, like a plan that was had and you're a part of. If you're asking what your purpose is, I can't give you that answer. All I can tell you was I can explain to you how things got to where they are, and
Sure.
maybe
Explain to me how things got where they are, how you got engaged, I think your sister said 100 years ago, and then you said, oh, I'll go and visit the material plane where I won't tell anyone that I am royalty, and I will make someone fall in love with me, and I will make my entire life altered because you got pre-wedding jitters and you wanted to try going mortal for a while. I don't know what was the plan here, Al. What was
the plan? I'd like to know what the plan was too.
Hi, Della. Yep, you're there too.
What exactly was the plan?
And suddenly Chomp and your mom were there.
Okay. My mom's not really there, right?
Chomp's also not really there. All of these things, all of these different scenes have happened simultaneously.
So I go, I never wanted this. I was raised to be expected to take over for my father, and when they got the idea that the courts needed to be joined, I was expected to just marry whoever they said. And it was never my choice with any of it. So when I met Leanna, she seemed to be in the same boat as me. And we agreed to not hinder each other trying to experience real life, real emotions, and I just kind of looked down at my feet as I say it, like real love. But my father, he just never would let me do anything. It was always just basically being by his side and shadowing him or doing, the different chores that were like the ways that he was training me. So in my culture, we started doing this thing where we can sort of give up the life of a fae and live in the mortal plane for a period of time and see what it's like, learn about that side of things, because ever since the barriers broke, it's been something that we don't know a lot about. We don't know how they broke. We don't know anything, so it just became a way to get exposed to a different culture and also just, see how, not the other side lives, but see how someone different lives. And that's what I was doing. I was able to convince them that that was something that I needed to do. And I made the choice when they agreed that I wasn't going to come back. And I wasn't going to come back. And I wasn't going to find just someone. I didn't plan on meeting you. I planned on getting my bearings and hiding in a different world. And then I saw you sing. And you tripped. And I got you a drink. And that was it. you were where I wanted to be. So I wasn't gonna come home. I wasn't gonna get married. I was gonna break so many promises, which the repercussions for that alone, I would have dealt with in time. But there was no plan. And then when Dayla, your shitty boyfriend, was about to kill you, I didn't know what else to do. So I clicked my failsafe, my come home button. It's the thing that they sent me when I wasn't coming home to try and get me to just get home. I don't know if it was like a hope that I would, forgot and was like, oh, here, I don't have to go find a portal, or something like that. I don't know, but it's the only thing I could think of in the moment, and wasn't expecting. I didn't. Once we were away from your boyfriend, I was really hoping we could just avoid my family and then get back out of here. And that didn't happen, and now we're in the middle of it, and I'm in over my head with a lot of things, and I get that I did not do right by you. I did not tell you who I was. I did not tell you any of this stuff. But from the day that I met you, up until the day I had to finger my button, I was exactly who I was telling you. I was just Al. So that's who I wanted to be. And I'm sorry that I cannot be just Al anymore.
Al, do you love me?
Yes.
Do you love her?
I'm obligated to her.
That's not what I asked. Do you love her?
Yes.
Disgusting. And with that, Della just fucking rears her fucking fist back and socks him in the face! That's completely inappropriate! How dare you say that to my sister! That happens.
Al just accepts it. He's not.
Dill, just curious, what's your strength modifier?
Yeah, that's a good question. -1.
Do you heal me? Does that mean you heal me?
No, but Al, it's sort of like you hit him and nothing really. It's just sort of like he takes the hit, but it hurts more emotionally than it does physically.
Well, that's fine. That's where I was aiming anyway.
Lena looks at you. Then you should get married tomorrow and leave me the hell alone.
And with that, I grab Lena's hand and I pull her away and we just go somewhere else, anywhere else.
Is this when Lena finds JJ and becomes the secondary BBEG?
Oh no.
Is this the start? Is this the origin story of her evil journey?
I mean, this would be a really good, villain story for somebody. It would turn me into a villain, that's for damn sure.
Al, is there anything else
dare
you're
you,
doing?
Al?
Is there anything else you're doing tonight?
No.
That seems like a deflection, Sam.
Dell, is there anything you and Lena are doing tonight?
Getting drunk.
No, we're just leaving the room. We're just gonna try and find a place to go decompress. talk a lot of shit, possibly get drunk, and maybe figure out our next steps.
And lastly, Onyx, is there anything else you're doing tonight?
Nyx was just watching from the corner and just like, shit.
I was. I just so happened to be in the room in the corner, just watching. Just watching. But I'm just gonna hang out with all, like, the party people, and I'm just gonna have, like, trying to get conversation going between Nyx and Onyx, and just kind of observe.
Then, as the night ends, you can all mark a long rest.
Yay.
Thank God.
Oh no, I lose my temp HP.
You can all mark a long rest. You sleep, or those of you that don't sleep. I'm gonna ask Al a specific question.
Are you a villain? The answer is yes.
I'm the villain of someone's
Honestly,
story.
and I want you to be true to your character. Do you honestly think that Al is able to get a trance that night?
I think he definitely does not sleep very well. I think he's been through a lot. I think he has a lot of emotional shit going on. But I think his body collapses when he lays down. Like, from just the emotional weight of everything. He sleeps, but he feels it emotionally like he hasn't slept, if that makes sense.
Al,
1 point of exhaustion.
I was about to say, you can mark a level of exhaustion.
Okay. Do I still get the long rest? I just get exhausted?
You
or
still
how
get the
does that
long
work?
rest. You get the long rest. You regain hit points. You regain spell slots, but you will come out of it with a level of exhaustion.
All right.
The next morning is a whirlwind of different things happening, until you all find yourselves in the grand hall with the rest of the courts that are here to attend the wedding and unification of the Twilight Court and the Court of Daybreak. They call it a wedding, but only because no other word survives the telling. It's not a ceremony, it's a threshold. It's happening now. Always now, in that endless hour, sort of teetering between twilight and daybreak. Nothing so crude as an aisle is laid. Instead, the space parts. Shadows draw back just enough to suggest a path, their edges soft, their shapes uncertain, as if they are curious to see what will pass between them. The ground is not ground, the memory of ground. It's cool, dim, receptive. The courts gather the way that twilight always does, by accumulation. Figures resolve slowly out of deepening dusk. Somewhere forms that can be understood, others choose not to. No one announces the beginning. Twilight does not begin, it lingers into significance. Al, you stand at the center as though you've always been there. The air is heavy, the gravity of endings, not harsh or cool, but inevitable. The last page of a story that knows it has been read. The final note of a song that still hums after it fades, and then the Court of Daybreak arrives in the hall, not from above nor below, but through. A thin, impossible thread of first light cuts across the dim, dull, pale. And from it steps Liana, the air of morning. They do not banish the shadows, they do not replace them, they simply exist alongside them, bright and uncertain. The courts do not react, but the shadows lean closer. There is no officiant in the way that mortals understand it. Instead, the court itself bears witness. Al, you and Liana face each other. It's not about vows. Twilight has no patience for promises that assume the future. This is about exchange. Liana holds out her hand, and with it comes the weight of every ending. Not loss, but completion, closure, the joining of the end of the day with the beginning of a new one. You give things to each other, unspoken promises and words of unification, fully, without metaphor, without protection, and for a moment, just a moment, the twilight sky falters and the dawn erupts. Twilight and dawn happening simultaneously, not in weakness and recognition. Because where ending meets beginning, something impossible occurs. Doesn't yield, doesn't overcome, it coexists. The twilight deepens, and within it, a thread of dawn persists, subtle and unrelenting. The binding is not marked by rings or words, it's marked by the refusal to resolve. This is the union. It's not harmony, not balance, but continuance. The cord accepts. Shadows grow more intricate, layers with hints of something brighter than they ever have allowed. The darkness does not recede, it becomes more complex, more aware of what is than is not. And when it is done, if such a thing can be said to end, nothing is declared. You simply stand looking into each other's eyes. Together at the center of all the courts, something is understood that has never been before. That an ending once shared with the beginning is no longer final. In the endless twilight of the Feywilds, there blooms the morning. Is there anything you would say to Liana as the ceremony concludes?
I think if it's not part of the ceremony where I'm expected, I think I am so emotionally wrought from everything. I just kind of do my best to give her like a smile, but I don't think I have words.
She smiles back. Al, you have about a minute. You are focused on Liana. There is something pulling at the back of your mind. The severed are stronger than what you saw in yesterday's fight. It's been pulling at the back of your mind the entire day. Why did they run? Why didn't they fight harder? Why did they let you win? It happens without warning, not in the space between moments, not in the slow tightening of inevitability, just all at once. The thread of dawn still trembles between you and Liana, bright and delicate, with something enters. Not from above, not from below, from within. At first, it's nothing more than a wrongness in the air, that feeling that you've been feeling of unease that was masked by sort of guilt between Lena and Liana. A pressure behind the eyes, a second rhythm beneath the quartz, held breath, and then shadows that aren't shadows, figures begin to resolve, or should none be. They do not arrive, they're simply there. Tall, severe, draped in the suggestion of forms like silhouettes forced into the shape of executioners. Their faces are obscured, not hidden, but absent. No one seems to notice them yet. And around their necks hangs a length of rope. Something that might be rope, might be memory. You're not sure what. You're not sure how. One by one they reach, not for bodies, but for selves. Hands pass through Fey nobles' chests, and something deeper than flesh recoils. The nobles stiffen, eyes going wide, mouth opening in soundless protest, and then stills. Their posture corrects, their heads tilt at an angle just slightly wrong. When they move again, it is with precision that was never theirs. More appear, not running, not rushing, just appearing. You all begin to see them around you, moving quickly, each one stepping into existence closer than the last until the court is saturated with them. Hundreds. They move through archfey, through courtiers, through forms that should not be able to be touched, and each time something is taken hold of. Possession is too simple of a word. This is occupation. This is invasion. The court begins to fracture, not physically, but in identity. Movements lose their individuality, gestures repeat. Al, you feel it before you see it, a pressure at the edge of the being in front of you. A hand that is not a hand testing the boundary, and then Liana gasps, a sharp, sudden intake of breath as a hangman stands behind her. And then it is inside of her, possessing her body. Reaching. The light flares violently, instinctively resisting, but the glow stutters, falters, fractures into jagged pulses. The hangman takes hold. The effect is immediate. The dawn light doesn't shatter, it stills, freezes mid-flicker. Liana goes rigid, eyes wide, not with pain, but with horrifying awareness of something else looking out through them. Her mouth opens. When she speaks, it is not just her voice. The words overlap. She can't seem to form sentences. Around them, the court falls into similar patterns. Liana shifts her head, not gently, not with wonder, with purpose. Light around them, but it is wrong. It's too steady, it's too certain. Dawn, stripped of hesitation, of softness, of becoming, it does not rise, it locks into place. She looks at you. She looks at the whole room. Look at you. How beautifully you linger, how delicately you pretend that not choosing is virtue. You call this balance, you call this wisdom, you call it twilight. It's cowardice. We watched you. Endings refuses to end, beginnings that never begin. A courts that pride themselves on standing still while the rest of existence moves. And so we were invited. You didn't see it, you couldn't, because you don't see anything that requires decision. Al, you left the door open. You ripped a new barrier open in that shop.
Son of a bitch.
Shop that was no longer protected from spirits. You did not see it, you couldn't see it. But thank you. We've been trying to get here for a long time. Soft-handed, soft-hearted, so desperate to preserve what cannot be preserved. A kindness here, a hesitation there, a failure to close what should have been closed. Doors do not need to be unlocked when they are not shut. We did not rush. We waited. We waited for the perfect moment, not when you were weakest. Weakness implies resistance. You waited for the moment you believed yourself completely safe. To the moment you attempted something new. The severed served their purpose. They wanted restoration. We promised them unity. We didn't specify the terms, though. They played their part well. They removed the Lauren. They weakened the borders. They tear just enough of your precious in-between spaces that something could finally enter. And by the time they realized what they had invited, they were already part of it. And now, Liana raises her hand, and the sky responds. The horizon, once a living contradiction of violet and gold, begins to strain. The colors resist one another, but resistance is failing. Gold spreads not in warmth, but in dominance. It does not blend with twilight. It overwrites it. You rely so heavily on the power of twilight. We remember how you forced us out before. Light intensifies, shadows shrink, disappearing. We will correct it the next time. Twilight is a flaw, an error between states and indulgence. The glow becomes binding at the edges, no gradient, and so we will remove it. The last remnants of the violet begin to tear. Not sunrise, not morning. A fixed, endless day permeates the land of twilight. You will have clarity. you will have definition. You will have an ending to your endings, and you will thank us for it, because soon you will no longer remember what it was like to exist between things. The light surges, and the twilight, lingering, delicate, and defiant, begins to die, screaming in silence. There is no more courts of twilight, of daybreak, of lost things, of tricks, of sealy and unsealy. And now you look out and see the majority of the Fae in this room are now possessed by hangmen. So I have to ask, what do you do?
So I'm listening to this whole spiel, and I go, you come here to my land where I have buried my family and say you're going to stamp out everything that they stood for. You have made a mistake, because these lands are not the court. We are the court. This land is not Twilight. I am Twilight. Yesterday, I took hold of all that is this court, and I am telling you to get the hell out of her and get the hell out of here, and I'm going to force my Twilight Sanctuary. And as the leader of the Twilight Court, hopefully I have access to it.
Make a religion check.
Religion is a straight roll, but I do have a moth tattoo. I'm gonna roll Alien Cat, and I think I'm gonna roll this die that I had made special for me. By made special for me, I mean I didn't request it. It was a gift. It was a gift, Samson. So
You
this
roll the
rolls.
die that I made you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
So better not fuck me. Oh, God. That's a 19 on your die. And I have no modifier, so it's just a 19.
You reach for the powers that you have relied on for so long. You feel nothing in this land. 19 is good. It is not world-changing good. There is no Twilight left in the Twilight Court. You may be Twilight, but there are no courts left when all the courts are hangmen. And you stand in front
But Samson,
of an...
I am not a hangman.
No, but you stand in front of the most powerful Archfey in the Feywilds that are possessed by the spirits that linger in the material. Salenway looks at you from the crowd. She looks at you and she says, in a message to you, run. You have to run. And then she turns to the crowd behind her and casts probably the largest showing of magic that you've ever seen a single being cast. They are all incapacitated for as long as she can hold it, but you watch as she holds this image, this moment where they are all frozen. And every second that she holds it, wisps of her body come off. And she begins to disintegrate before your eyes as she's trying to hold them in place long enough for you to get away. And you hear the message again. Alar, you have to run now. And that's where we'll end tonight's episode.
Son of a bitch.
This is so fucked.
Let's just kill my whole family. That's fine, Samson. Did my sister ever come home?
Thank you for listening. We've been Saving Throw Society, and our cast includes...
My name is Katrina Kenny. My pronouns are she and her, and I am playing Onyx and Nyx.
My name is Joe Gailey. He, him.
And I play Zebulon Cold Springs.
Hey everyone, it's Alexis. I play Della Darkel. My pronouns are she, her.
My name is Anthony Corletto. My pronouns are he, him. And I am playing Al.
I'm Rowan Moss. They, them. I play Ensemble.
Hi, my name's Eric Trulick. He, him.
And lastly, I've been Samson Flansbaugh. My pronouns are he, him, and I play the world and everything else inside of it. Make sure you follow the social media page of your choice that can be found in the link in the description. And for those of you wanting some extra content and bonus episodes, make sure you join the society and become a subscriber for our Patreon. Thank you for adventuring with us, and remember, sometimes all that stands between you and the end is one successful saving throw. As the battle concluded and everyone seems to be in good spirits, Al directs a hunting party into the woods to try to chase down the sever that ran, and sort of begins to take on the role of leadership as people are looking to him. You are still, Zeb, farther away, hidden near the reflecting pool. What would be your initial post-aggression ritual? What would you do?
I think looking around, checking to see how everybody in the party is doing, making sure everybody's safe. And then after doing that, just taking some deep breaths. You know, this is all still very new to him. And it's kind of a crazy amount of things to be happening in like 3 days. So still coming down from that high, that adrenaline rush, just taking some moments to breathe and just kind of survey what's going on.
You're taking moments to breathe. Do you still have your pistol in your hand? Or have you holstered it?
I think it's been holstered.
Adrenaline is still high. It's really hard, especially for someone who's not used to that kind of thing, even though you're getting much more used to it as the days go. It's really hard to come down off that sort of rush of energy and stress. And you're really focusing in on your breathing, trying to control the sound. You're crouched along the edge of a reflecting pool. Magic cracks in the distance, residual effects of spells going off, bursts of color that didn't belong to any world. The battlefield is no longer a battlefield, it's just a space. And you're sort of thinking about everything. And you remember this sort of mind, whenever you get this kind of level of stress where you're hyper vigilant, hyper observant, you sort of remember your Uncle Zane speaking to you. Think, watch, don't react right away, plan. And that's when a hand lands on your shoulder from behind you, startling you. You immediately have presence. Someone is touching your shoulder from where you were hidden, where you were confident that no one had seen you. What's your initial response as you feel someone's hand grab your shoulder?
I think if it's soon after, it's immediately turn and reach for the holstered weapon to try to pull it back out.
You turn and see... You haven't seen him in probably a year or two. Your family hasn't been very close. It makes no sense in your brain. Your brain is going a million miles an hour. Zane is standing there holding your shoulder. Easy, easy. His voice murmurs. He's trying to just look at you hesitantly as he sees your hand going to the gun.
Zane, what are you doing here?
He looks at you and looks around. He's like, Zeb, I could ask you the same thing.
I reach for his hand to see if I can feel it with my hand.
It's solid. He takes your hand.
Zane, it's so great to see you. I go in for a hug.
He gives you a hug. He looks around. We should probably just clear off this area. We can talk a little more privately. He steps closer. He lowers his voice. I can explain. I can explain a lot of what's been going on. I will explain. Let's go a little ways away.
Okay, I mean, I'm here with a group of friends. I mean, they've become my friends. Do you want to meet them?
There'll be time for that. Me and you need to have a conversation.
Okay.
He starts walking, and you sort of start following slowly, and he ends up putting his arm around your shoulders. We need to move a little quicker. We need to move now, and make an insight check.
That is 8 plus 5, 13.
There's something a little off in the way that he's speaking, a little still in a place that he refused stillness. His eyes are flicking around nervously as if he's looking for something that he's not seeing. He's very on edge right now.
Okay, Zeb kind of like stops as he's being shuffled, and he kind of grabs onto his shoulder and says,
Zane, is everything okay? Something doesn't seem right about you.
His face, he looks at you, studies intently, and his face softens just a little. Kid, I need you to trust me right now. We have to move. I'm gonna explain everything, I promise. It's just we need to get out of the open just for a minute.
Great. I know I just rolled insight, but is there something that I could roll to figure out if this is actually Zane?
You could do investigation or arcana.
Oh, I'll roll investigation. I mean, I'm exceptionally good at that. That's a 12 plus 9 is a 21.
Everything inside your head is screaming that this is Zane. He smells the same sort of cologne and body scent that he always has. He's standing in the same way, just more nervous and on edge than you've ever seen him. if you had to pick up details, this is someone who's definitely afraid of something that might or might not happen, and he's trying to convey information to you.
Okay.
All right, let's get going where we gotta go.
Good, let's go. He pulls you to your feet from where you stopped. Quick but not rough. Stay close. And you move away from the Glimmer Grove, out of the Glimmer Grove, into the forest, which not the safest place, but right now you're kind of moving as if you're on a mission. Branches pulling back just enough to let you pass. He sort of walks to you while you're talking. Are you gonna tell me how you got into the Feywilds, Zeb? I didn't expect to find you here.
Well, okay, so there were some spirits, and then there was a spirit inside me, and then it was outside of me, and then there was a big gator who talks, and then there was another spirit that was inside of me, and then it was outside of me, and then there was a button. Wait, no, there was also a weird person who gave me a needle, and now I don't have a shadow, and then now I'm here.
You don't have a shadow.
Oh yeah, I don't have a shadow.
He looks down. He's like, oh, that complicates things. Okay, keep going.
Well, it's kind of anticlimactic at this point, but anyways, I'm here. It's been a lot.
He looks at you. He looks again at the lack of a shadow. You shouldn't be here. Oh, you shouldn't be here.
Well, why are you here?
Well, we'll get to that.
Wait, are you a wizard?
No, I'm not a wizard, Zeb.
Oh. Okay, that would have been pretty badass.
It would have been. You've always been curious, and I wish you had not gotten involved in this. There's so many people that. What do you know about the people you're traveling with?
Well, I mean, Onyx. You know Onyx from the bar, and also Al. And I mean, you might know Della too. She was in the bar frequently with her sister Lena. They're here. It's all kind of related to the bar in a lot of ways. But I do feel like I'm kind of learning a lot of new things. Al was definitely not who we thought he was, and I'm getting the impression that something's going on with Onyx. I couldn't tell you exactly what, but I'm trying to piece it all together. I know there's some things going on. Back in New Orleans, there were some people that were after us, and we were just really trying to get away. I don't really have firm ground on anything, if I'm being totally truthful.
What about you travel with someone not human? They're made, I believe they're made of instruments these days.
Oh yeah, Ensemble.
What do you know about Ensemble?
Well, again, not too much, but I know that group that was after us was after him specifically. And honestly, they're kind of the reason for a lot of this happening.
Ensemble. They've never gone by a different name that you know of? They haven't.
Can I roll insight on this?
Yes.
Okay. 19 plus 5, 24.
The sort of way that Zane is leading with questions leads you to believe that he 100% knows more about all of the people that you're talking about than you are saying.
Zane, something's not right. I've told you a lot about what's going on with me, but why are you here?
That's complicated. You haven't really been paying attention to where you've been walking, and as you walk, you see sort of, it almost looks like a wide open rift in the woods. It doesn't resemble the portals in the material, but it gives you that feeling of the hairs raising on your neck as you approach it. We'll have a long talk. Just let's keep going.
Zeb stops.
Zaid, man, it's, again, great to see your face, and you know I care deeply about you, but something just doesn't feel right. You've been promising me answers, but you haven't said anything. You've just been asking me questions.
I promise I'm going to tell you everything. We're just going to get somewhere safe.
This seems safe enough. I think I'm ready for answers.
Zeb. Always so curious, and I love that about you, but they said it would be a problem. Okay.
Who is they?
Zeb, we're gonna go through this portal here.
Zaid,
Zeb's reaching for his gun right now, by the way.
Zaid, I'm not...
Make a
I'm not-
dexterity. Let's call it sleight of hand to see how quick you react to how quick he reacts.
Okay. It's 11 plus 5, 16.
You feel your hand go to the hilt of your gun. Zane's arm's still around your shoulders as you're reaching for the holster on the opposite side, hopefully in a way he can't see. This second, you feel the handle go into your palm. You feel a secondary sensation as a needle goes into your neck. Zane rolled a 17, just one higher. It was close. It was super close. You feel the injection go in. It's warm at the point of the injection site, and you begin to draw your weapon, only to lose your footing as the sedative courses through your body.
Zeb says,
Zaid, it would have been way cooler if you were a wizard.
You feel the ground give out beneath you, and you fall, staring up at the sky. Zane stands over you. Zeb, it doesn't have to be like this. You can pick the right side. I've always taught you to observe the things that people don't think matter. And you black out. It's dark. You don't know how long you're out for. It is very much blank, black, unawarity. And hours pass. And you start to wake up. You're groggy, you're uncomfortable. Make a constitution save. Let's see how aware you are upon awaking from your surroundings.
it's a nat 20 plus 1.
On a nat 20, I'm going to grant you two things. You come to immediately full capacity, full cognitive function, fully aware. No lag in reflexes, no lag in any abilities. But you also have the fortitude to not show that you are full capacity, full reflexes, full fortitude.
Okay.
You are sitting at a table. It's a full concrete room. 2 chairs, one on one side of the table, one on the other side of the table. Zane sits at the other side of the table. In the corner in the shadow is another man. You can't see his face. The sort of shadows obscuring his face. Zeb, I think you've always wanted friends. I just think maybe you might have picked the wrong crowd to fall in with.
So while I'd like to pretend that I'd like to keep that advantage of, not letting them know that I'm fully recovered. Am I tied to the chair in any way?
You have wrist restraints.
Okay. And I'm assuming I'm disarmed. Could I tell that?
You have 2 pistols. Where do you keep them on your body typically?
They're like behind. They're tucked into my tighty whities, if you must know.
Would they be visible while you're walking?
No, I mean they'd be under my sweater or flannel or whatever, under my shirt.
We are going to roll a luck check.
Okay.
To Zane, you are still Zeb. You are still the little boy he took to baseball games. You are the boy who up until days ago had never lifted a hand in anger. We're going to roll a d20, and we'll do odds. You are armed. Evens, you are disarmed.
Okay. I just rolled, and I got a 19.
So you're armed.
Hmm.
Zane sits across from you, looking at you. You always do this. You push one question too far. I wish you hadn't gotten involved in this. You were always going to chase these kinds of things. It would have been more surprising if you didn't. But you pushed the wrong buttons. You made the wrong choices. This is not saving a dog that went missing, Zeb. This is something so much deeper and more complicated.
I don't think it's as complicated as you're making it out. And I know the decisions I made, and I'm starting to question the decisions that you've made.
Can I tell anything about the person who's in the corner? You said that they're kind of shrouded.
You can see he's wearing. You can see the brim of his hat poking out. It's a leather sort of brimmed hat, but you don't see the facial features. You see he's tall. He wears an open light coat. Could be also a thin leather, jeans. Just sort of standing in the back in a way that you can't see his face.
So Zeb looks at Zane and says,
I would turn the question around on you. What are you doing? It's not too late to change. It's not too late to make the right decision. And you could say au revoir to this man in the corner.
I don't think you know what the right decision is. I know how that looked. I didn't like doing it. But you weren't leaving me a lot of options. The sedative should be wearing off slowly. You might feel a little slow, that's normal. But you picked a hell of a place to dig into, Zeb. Feywild conflict zones, that's not exactly local corruption scandal missing dog. But you always did skip a few steps when something caught your interest. This isn't a story you get to follow all the way down. I told you once, watch the things people don't think to watch, and you sort of took that and decided to watch the things that people are actively trying to keep buried. That's a different game. What you've walked into back, that's not random. That was a fracture, and fractures don't stay contained. You're asking questions that don't have safe answers. And worse, you're going and asking them in places that notice, with people that make notice of you. You being there, that's a problem. That's a problem. It's a problem for me. I had to answer some questions. My nephew is in a place that he shouldn't be, so I pulled you out. And you're probably wondering where out is. Short version, we're somewhere that you're not going to get yourself killed in the next 10 minutes. And the man in the back laughs at that a little bit. Zane, I don't know about that. We'll see.
Zeb says, your whistle's not going to do anything to me, man.
He steps forward. You see the scar across his face that was pretty evident back in Cold Springs Cold Brews. You don't have friends here, you think you're all alone. If it's not for your uncle here, you're all alone, you.
Zeb looks at his uncle when he says that. And I would feel like the relationship that they had, that he would be able to give him a pleading look of like, you're gonna let this motherfucker control you.
Oh, Zeb, I don't think you understand. I don't answer to him. He answers to me.
You bastard. Zeb turns to the Frenchman and gives him that look.
So you're Zane, if I'm understanding correctly. You know that I've done my research. This is the syndicate. This is related to all the stuff that got us running in the first place, and you're telling me that my uncle is a muckety muck high up? Is this how you got those season tickets to the baby cakes?
I have been dealing with things like this for a long time, longer than I wanted anyone to ever have to deal with. The day the barriers opened, the world was reborn and reformed. And no, I didn't tell anyone because they didn't need to know. Didn't tell anyone because I knew exactly what you'd do if you knew any of this. You'd follow it. Just like you did with the dog. You find the thing that doesn't add up and you don't let it go. I was hoping you'd aim at something a little less catastrophic. But here we are. You're deeper than you've seen things that I can't make you unsee. Not without a lot of work. And I can make you unsee them. But I don't want to have to do that. We can change the entire way that your memory is structured surrounding all of this. Don't force me to that point, Zane. Zeb, I like you.
Alright, let's talk about these restraints. How restrained am I?
You would need to make a DC 15 Thieves Tools check, which is just basically sleight of hand plus proficiency.
Okay. So I would say I'm going to do that. And I would say that, Zeb has like a little, I think we established earlier in this episode that Zeb has like a little Leatherman's tool.
Yeah.
And so he's going to use that somehow to try to, that's like his thieves tool, essentially. So here we go. Okay, now that's a nat 1. It's not good. That's very bad.
That's very bad.
Fuck. So it does not matter that I get to add 8, but yeah.
No.
Anyways, go ahead.
I have to ask, when you saw what was happening out there, when you saw the chaos of the wilds, the problems that the Fae bring us, the problems that the Fae bring the world, what did you notice?
I mean, whenever you have new people introduced into an area, it's gonna cause friction, you know? I mean, it's gonna cause friction economically, socially. Just ways of life need to change, need to be adapted. And honestly, I see that as a good thing. And I think people need to struggle more in general. That's how we grow. Things can't always stay the same, Zane.
Things don't need to stay the same, but they don't belong here. They are ruining so much. But they're useful. Did you know that when you catch a pixie, that you can cut off its wings and grind them into powder? And that if you take that powder, you can inhale just a pinch and you can fly. Did you know?
Wait. I've had pixie sticks before, and I have never flown once in my life.
Not talking about the candy.
Zay, that's some dark shit, man.
Oh, they don't belong, but they're useful.
Samson, is the table like describe the table?
It's just a solid metal 4-legged table.
Is it like attached to the ground?
No.
Okay. I would like to kick the table at him.
Okay. Zeb is not strong boy.
I know.
Well,
Well, I just rolled the nat 1, so it couldn't get worse than that.
What stat are you looking to use to do this?
Well, I guess my goal is I'd like to try to essentially cause enough of a distraction that I can attempt to, even though I got a nat 1 on the thieves tool check, that I can have a second to finish getting that restraint off, essentially.
So this is more of a distraction than a physical act.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like knock his ass out. I need some time.
So rather than have you roll an athletics check, which I think is a minus modifier for you,
It is.
I'm going to have you roll performance.
Okay. All right, here we go. It's an 8.
Let's just roll for Zane. That was a 10 on the die. Do you have any way to boost that roll?
Well, okay, so actually this is something I've been meaning to ask you. In my I have under species traits, I have resourceful, and it says you gain heroic inspiration whenever you finish a long rest. So would that mean that I could re-roll that and use that?
Yes.
Is that what heroic inspiration is? It's just inspiration, right? Okay, so can I re-roll then?
Yes.
And if not that, then I have one more idea. That's a 17 this time.
He is distracted. It will give you advantage on your Thieves' Tools check.
Hold on. Let's roll the 1985 games dice. We're going to do 2. All right. How is a... Let's see. Let's do some math here. 10 plus 5 plus 3, 18.
That will do it.
All right. So Zeb's kicked this table over, and he kind of, jumped out of the chair essentially, and was able to cut free. I'd like to grab the pistols and pull them out. And I forgot to ask, is there like a door in this room anywhere that I noticed?
Yes, there's a door.
Okay. Is it behind them or behind me?
Behind Zane's side.
Okay. So he's going to aim, one pistol at Zane, one pistol at, I'm assuming, the Frenchman. And he's going to say,
Okay, we've had our fun here, and I'm willing to let bygones be bygones if you let me go peacefully. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to start doing things I don't want to do. Just like you were thinking about doing things that you don't want to do.
Zeb, unfortunately, things are already in motion. And the safest place for you to be is right here, so I can't let you leave.
okay, is there... So, the way I'm envisioning the room, is the door like in the center of the two of them, or is it behind one of them in particular?
It's pretty much in the center of the wall, and one is standing in the corner, more in view now. That's the Frenchman, and Zane is sitting in the chair in front of you at the table.
Okay. And how far is the door from me?
About 15 feet.
Okay. So I would like to... Basically what I'd like to do, if we're thinking like action, bonus action type of thing, I'd like to get to that door. And I want to do that not by attacking. So I'd like to use maybe the disengage action as kind of like an excuse for how I can get away, but also misty step to the door.
Okay.
To try to avoid violence if possible.
Okay. We will play this out. Describe exactly what you want to do first.
So I guess I know this is probably not exactly like how disengage would work, but the way I would want to explain it is I have the two guns are like pointing at them. I'd like to quickly aim them at the door handle and fire in a way that would cause like another distraction essentially, and then hopefully also get the door kind of loose, and then like either misty step to the door to get through or just fucking misty step right through it, either by not like through it like teleporting through the door because it has to be a space you can see, but kind of like getting there and using that momentum to force the door open.
Roll a attack to hit the door first.
That is a 12 plus 5, 7 plus 5. Yeah, 17.
That hit. That'll
Okay.
hit and do what you're wanting. You fire at the door. They don't move. They're looking at you. Zane just sort of shakes his head. You try to misty step, and you feel the magic begin and then falter. Zane looks at you. I felt that spell come, but we have runes in all of these rooms to prevent spells not cast by Syndicate. Think of it as a way to contain magic. We did it initially to hold Fae in place, but as different humans and mortals started picking up magic from the transition, it just seemed more useful.
Zeb points his gun at Zane and just says, "Matt, please don't make me do this. Please."
Do you think that you could? You think that you could kill your uncle? Have you changed that much that you think you could do this?
Is he asking me that point blank?
Yep.
I mean, at this point, I don't think so. The gun goes down.
That's what I thought. Now you're left with an option. By this point, you were unconscious for about 5 or 6 hours. I assume at this point that the high courts and lesser courts have fallen. I don't know what that means for your friends. I assume that they either are on the run or have also fallen. There is no more leadership of the Feywilds. You have lost. They have lost. The Fae have lost. So what do you want to do? Do you want to be on the winning side? I would take you in a second. I've always thought of you as a son. But you have an option.
Zeb says,
Well, it doesn't really seem like I'd be given an option, if I'm being honest. It seems like either I agree to do what you say, or you're going to force me to do what you say.
Out of respect for our history and my love for you, I would never force you to do what I say. I would love to work with you, but it's more of a, you can continue to sit in a room while everything happens, and we continue with the plans already in motion, or you can fight for humanity and end the occupation of these unwanted and unneeded things that have penetrated our world.
Zeb looks resigned, and he looks at his uncle and says,
Fine then, tell me more about your plan.
Glad to have you on the side of humanity, Zeb. And the Frenchman walks out the door, and you and Zane continue to talk about the purpose of the syndicate, the beliefs of the syndicate, and the eventual goals of the syndicate. And that's where we'll end for today.